In our franchise short history, we've done very well when it comes to drafting or acquiring receivers. From Andre Johnson, obviously, especially the DeAndre Hopkins. I know how some people feel about Will Fuller, but when he was healthy, the boy actually balled and produced. And what we've seen from an acquiring standpoint, what we've seen the last 2 years out of Brandon Cooks. Could we see that in the near future with a specific player? What's up, YouTube? Your boy back once again with another sport topic. And today we're going to talk some football, Houston Texans football. You already know what it is, man. The season is right around the corner. It's here. The NFL season is here. So we about to talk about this good old Houston Texans. We're going to talk about this good Houston Texans football. I want to talk about Nico because I feel like Nico possibly, potentially, especially what I've seen in training camp and in preseason, I think that he possibly could be the most improved Texan. And I think he could be the next receiver up. I think he'd be the most improved Texan. We're going to talk about, we're going to break it down. Before we get in there, like I've been telling y'all before, if you're liking the content, make sure you're liking the channel. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you comment on all the videos. You liking all the videos. You comment on the videos. Make sure you're sharing all the videos on all social media platforms. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok, any type of social media platform you use. Make sure you share on the same social media platforms. Also, follow me on social media as well. The links in the description below. We also giving away 30 days free Amazon Prime. If you don't have Amazon Prime, you sleep. What is you doing? I'm giving away a free 30 days. The link is in the description. If you don't have Amazon Prime, the link is in the description. You get a free 30 days. Who don't want free stuff? Free 30 days. The link is in the description. Make sure you hit that link. Also, like I said, follow me on social media. The link's in the description as well. Man, like I said, like the channel, subscribe to the channel, like the videos, comment on the videos, share the channel. Let's get this channel growing and growing and growing and growing and growing. I really appreciate that. Y'all don't know how much I appreciate y'all. I really appreciate y'all. Now, let's talk about it because I believe that Nico Collins possibly potentially could be the most improved Texan going into the season, the most improved Texan this season because what I seen in training camp and in the preseason, little small snippets that we seen him in preseason, he looks like a completely, totally different guy than we seen last year. And I had my questions. I'm like, okay, I don't know if Nico could be a number one. Maybe he could be a okay number two. From what I've seen so far, I think he definitely is a strong number two. And could he potentially be a number one? Like I said, I actually like Nico coming out of Michigan. I wanted us to draft me. I talked about drafting Nico way before the draft, even before the whole debacle when it come to the whole Jack Easterby and Deshaun Watson, and even before we hired Nick Casario, I brought up Nico should be a guy that you should look at coming out of Michigan. I just like the way he played. And last year kind of left a little bit of desire, but I think it's more so the offense and the things, and also not getting ready, just not being ready for the NFL. This year, it's a completely different guy. Like when you watch how he's running his routes more assertive. He knows what he's doing. He's more confident. The way he plants his foot and turns his hips and make like it's like he's basically honed in what he's doing. And then one thing also, he's starting to catch more with his hands. When you watch how he did in the preseason, he was Davis Mills' go-to. He was Davis Mills' security blanket when the ones were out there and Davis Mills throw the football. He was looking for 12. He was looking for 12, and 12 was sitting there catching with his hands. He wasn't using the ball. He wasn't on letting the ball come to him and things like that. Wouldn't get alligator spaghetti. No, he would put his hands out there and plug the ball out the air. Out there, it was the game against the Rams, the Friday night preseason game against the Rams. After Davis Mills throws that big pass to Philip Dorsett, the touchdown that he throws to Nico. It was a bad throw because he threw it over to this side, and Davis Mills, as he's falling back, the ball is over here, and he has to basically reach both his hands and come over and pluck out there, and did it strongly, confidently. Was it okay bobbling the ball, nothing like that? Grabbed it with both hands, plugged it in. Wasn't trying to do a pretty one-hand catch and try to do all the extra stuff, because a two-hand catch counts just as much as a one-hand catch. So he's showing you what he can do. I know his talks that he's been working with Andre. He actually went out to Andre himself, if I'm not mistaken, to get some tips. I like that. I like the veterans. I like how Derek Stingley was working with J. Joe and things like that. I think some of the linebackers even worked with Cushion a little bit as well. But him going after reaching out to Andre, knowing how Andre is a GOAT when it comes to the receivers for the Houston Texans, how people feel about Andre. To see Andre's my favorite football player. Period. Like I know all the football players out there, Andre's my favorite football player, period. I don't care what nobody says. And for him to go out there to get advice, to get, kind of like what Hopkins did, kind of a little bit different because Hopkins actually was playing on the same team with Andre for 2 years. This guy never played with Andre, obviously, but he's going out there to get that type of work. And that's something I love to see. That's something I love to see, and I definitely believe that even though Brandon Cooks is the number one as of right now, I think this team is going to lead from the receiver standpoint. Is going to lead on Nico. Um, if people feel about Davis Mills and they want Davis Mills to be the franchise guy, he is going to depend obviously on protection. Damian Pierce run the football, which I think is probably going to be the straw that stirs the drink for this offense. Is going to be Damian Pierce, but he's going to have Nico play at a high level, and that's why I think that Nico definitely might be able to step up his game and, like I said, be one of the most improved Texans, if not the improved Texan. He might be the next Texan receiver. Like I said, the Texans have a history of drafting well receivers and developing receivers. Like I said, Nico was 6'4", 6'4", 215. Last year, this is Nico's stats from last season. He played 14 games, was targeted 60 times, had 33 receptions, 446 yards, averaging 13.5 yards a catch, 1 touchdown. Now the thing that's the most impressive that he was 55%, 55% catch percentage. So when balls was thrown in his way, his targets, he caught 55 of them. You will definitely want it to be higher, obviously. And like I said, and there's no telling what's going on those plays. It could be thrown to him. It could be a target. But it could be, like, Davis Mills getting rid of the football or poorly throw football or whatever the case may be. It might not be on anybody's fault. Just, like I said, it could be something that Davis Mills is trying to get rid of the football and Nico was in the facility. But it wasn't thrown really for Nico to catch. It was thrown just so it wouldn't be intentional grounded. So there's always little caveats and nuances when it comes to you got combed through those things with fine tooth comb. But that right there, he was the second receiver, like the second receiver in yards and catches behind Brandon Cooks. And like Brandon Cooks, I think had like 96, and Ozzy had 1,000 yards. So it was a huge gap between Nico and Brandon Cooks, obviously. Now I know some of that has to do with the offense of Tim Kelly's offense, and also Davis Mills and Tyrod Taylor and things like that. The play that they had. So you don't want to put that all on Nico, but even though I was high on Nico coming into the draft, and I'm glad the Texans drafted him. After seeing what I seen last year, it left a lot to be desired, and it wasn't really impressive as far as from a number one standpoint. The guy I see now is a completely different guy than I seen last year. The guy I seen in training camp, especially the guy I seen in the preseason, understand. I know it's the preseason. I said the other day about the video when it comes to defense. I understand it's the preseason. But as of right now, that's all we have to work on until we see them play against the Colts. And we'll be able to move accordingly once the actual regular season goes underway. But as of right now, that's all we have to work on. I like what I've seen. And I definitely think that he, like I said, has showed improvement and has shown develop. A semblance of development, and we need this to grow. And like I said, I think if you want Davis Mills to play well, Davis Mills is going to have to depend on both Brandon Cooks and Nico. I think more so Nico than Brandon Cooks, because Brandon Cooks is going to get the coverage. Because people know about Brandon Cooks. Brandon Cooks is going to get the coverage. Brandon Cooks is going to be able to be a down-the-field threat, things like that. We know he's going to lean on Nico. Nico's going to have to make those short catches, those intermediate catches across the middle, things like that, those tough routes. And then, like I said, because he's a big body, you're going to look for Nico in the end zone. You're going to look at Nico. He's like he's 6'4". You're going to look for him in the end zone and get like those red zone targets. I know we're going to have Damian Pierce, and we'll be able to throw the football at Damian Pierce, and Damian Pierce run the football and stand all that. But Nico is going to have to get those type of targets. And you got to show the confidence. And maybe Nico has to be to the point that, okay, give me the ball. I know we got Brandon Cooks. I know we got Damian Pierce. Give me the ball. I know some of you are like, he don't earn no strikes. He ain't earned no strikes yet. Sometimes receivers ain't got to earn no strikes, and that's how they earn them is give me the damn ball. like Keyshawn Johnson said, just throw me the damn ball. Throw it up here. I know Andre used to say that about Hop. That why they couldn't just throw it up, because in Clemson they did a lot of 50-50 balls, and that's when he came into the NFL. Like, well, why they not just throwing it up? Yeah, just throw it up. Just throw it to me. I'll catch it. You might have to throw Nico some 50-50 balls. You're going to have to put Nico in a situation to get 50-50 balls. And to be honest, I think Nico will win a lot of those matchups because of his height and the size standpoint, and the way he showed like I said, what we seen during training camp and during the preseason is that he looked like he could be a go getter, a guy you can just throw the football. Look, I'm gonna come and get it out there. He looked like he could be a dominant go getter, and that's something that the Texans need. I don't believe. I know a lot of people like especially my boy Wise. Shout out to boy Wise. Shout out to everybody in Soft Sports. I know Wise talks about Butte, him and Wink. I said shout out to Wink as well. They talk about Butte a lot from LSU. I told them guys, I really don't believe that the Texans will even if in position, wouldn't even draft a receiver next year. Part of the reason why is because of Nico. If Nico constantly shows his development, I mean, they restructured Brandon Cook's contract, so Brandon Cook's contract is done a certain way. We have Michi is going to be coming back next year. Hopefully, everything's going good with Michi. We have Michi coming back next year. Nico is a guy who I think they will be leaning on towards. Okay, maybe he could be somebody that grows, because with my comp for Nico coming out of college was, and it might be the whole Michigan ties, but it was Braylon Edwards. I thought that Nico could be a version of Braylon Edwards. Now, with the Texans and especially Davis Mills, Nico to be is the Philadelphia Eagles version of Alshon Jeffrey that we really won Super Bowl. He needs to be that type of receiver for Davis Mills, a guy who he could throw the football to no matter what, and he comes up there and plucks it out there. That's what he has to be. He has to be that Alshon Jeffrey type of receiver. That's what's going to help Davis Mills develop, obviously, because Davis Mills still himself in the situation he needs to develop. Like, they were back-to-back draft picks in the third round, because Nick Caserio jumped back up in the third round to go out there and get Nico. So Nico has to start making that pay dividends, because you got a fourth-round pick in Damian Pierce that's come out and already took the starting job. And people like myself think that he is going to be a dark horse for the Offensive Rookie of the Year as a fourth-round pick. These guys jumped up and took you in the third round. You got to start making that pay dividends. You're going to be, at the very least, the number 2 guy. You need to step up and be more assertive and be like, I'm the guy. I'm the number 1 guy. You don't need no Butte. You don't need no other receiver. You don't need to throw me the damn rock. Throw me the football. I'm going to get touchdowns. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be the guy. That's the type of attitude that Nico needs to have, and not no obnoxious way, just in a supreme confidence that I'm the best damn receiver on this field. I know we got Brandon Cooks. Brandon Cooks, my brother. I love Brandon Cooks, but throw me the damn football. I'm the best receiver on the team. That's the mindset that he has to have, and how he has to attack this season going forward. Because I think he has the physical tools. He has the size. He has the catch radius. He has the hands. He's not blazing fast, obviously, but he's a fast enough receiver that he can get open. Like I said, he needs to not fix his route running. He needs to improve his route running. And he's come a long way from last year's route running and the year prior. Now, remember, he missed the 2020 season in Michigan because of the whole COVID thing. He's one of those players that opted out and didn't play 2020. But wasn't eligible for the 2020 draft. He didn't come out to 2021. So the last time he played college ball was in 2019, because he didn't play any college football in 2020. So maybe last year was him getting his legs up on him because he was out of football for almost 2 years. So that could have been the case, and hopefully that was the case. And now we see that he's a better. Now that he got last year upon them, we had the whole thing with, like I said, with David Culley and just all the debacle that went on right there. That now he could be the guy, and he could be the next Texan receiver up. Because I said, because the Texans have a history of putting out Pro Bowl caliber receivers. Andre and Hopkins, both Pro Bowl, all-pro type of receivers, led the league in yards, led the league in catches, whatever. Fuller never did any of those things and never made a Pro Bowl, but when he was healthy, you've seen Pro Bowl potential. Like Will Fuller is the first receiver in NFL history to have in his debut have back-to-back 100-yard games. The first receiver in NFL history that in his debut 2 games had back-to-back 100 yards in both games against the Chiefs and against the Bears. The Bears first, and then against the Chiefs, if I'm not mistaken, back in 2016. But so we all know about the injuries and also the drops and things like that. And like we all know, if he wasn't, we all feel like if he wasn't suspended in 2020, he definitely would have got 1,000 yards and probably would have been a Pro Bowl receiver, even though there was no Pro Bowl because of the whole 2020 season. And what we've seen now, Brandon Cooks, the last 2 years, just a walking 1,000 yards. Just a walking 1,000 yards. And Brandon Cooks could sneakily hop up on the Texans all-time receiver list if he constantly just keep on getting 1,000 yards because he's just a walking 1,000 yards. He's missed it consistently when it comes to that standpoint. That's what Nico has to be. He has to be more consistent, and be more and show more progression. We've seen progression from year one to the preseason version of year two. We need to see the actual progression in actual year two. And I do believe that Davis Mills, from a receiving standpoint, will lead on Nico. And I'm not saying that Nico's going to be the number one target. I still think it's going to be Brandon Cooks. But I think Nico's definitely going to get more targets than 60. And I definitely think his production is going to go up. I definitely think he's going to be the Texans' most improved player, one of the most improved players for the Texans, or the Texans flat out most improved player. Just for the Texans, I'm not talking about the NFL, only the NFL comeback player, nothing like that. I'm not saying nothing like that. I'm just saying from a Texan standpoint, that's where he's leaning towards. Because the guy I seen in the preseason and the training camp was very vastly different from the guy that we seen last year that played 14 games and only had 33 receptions. Like, subscribe if you haven't, comment below if you haven't, click that bell, get more videos. I holla.